Hi, I'm Burton Richardson, and this is Jose Fernandez from Switzerland. What we're going to look at today is a very simple combination to set up a north-south choke. Now, north-south choke, the reason it's so good, especially in MMA, is because even if you're slippery and sweaty, you can get to this choke and secure the choke and finish the choke. It's just you have to know the details on finishing. But right now, I'm really going to just show you a nice setup for it that just puts this thing together. So what we're going to do, Jose's going to be here. Let's say I've gotten to the north-south position. I'm making sure, as I'm holding this position, one thing, his counter, he can curl his legs back up and try to go over my head, saute like this and all. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen. The way I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen is when he starts, I'm going to keep my head in here and keep him down. Make sure I keep very tight to him. Okay, now to do the north-south choke, what I'm going to need to do is get my arm under his head. I'm going to make sure he is looking upward. His number one counter is if he turns his chin toward me, I can't finish the choke. So I have to make sure I keep that chin up. And the way I'm going to do that is as I'm putting my arm through deep, I'm going to drop on my side a little bit to block his chin there. But the trick is, when we're in here fighting, is how am I going to get his head off the ground? A lot of times when you're here, sure, they're bucking and turning and all, but I really want to have an easy entrance point, especially with the gloves on. When you have the gloves, you have to have more space to get that through. So if he keeps his head on the floor like this, I can't get it in. So this is where the setup comes in. I'm going to do it from both sides so you can see. So what I'm going to do is this hand over here, I'm going to get this underhook from the top. I'm going to put my hand over his chest. I'm going to let him turn a little bit so you can see. Okay. I'm going to come here over his chest. I can put the hand flat on the chest. I'm going to pinch in with my forearm as I bring my elbow up and I put all my weight on his arm. What's going to happen now is all my weight's going on his upper arm and my forearm bone, the blade of the bone, is cutting in. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure and you have it really trapped well. Now I can use this to go to an arm bar and he can feel, especially an experienced person is going to feel that you're setting up an arm bar. And they're not going to like that. All the attention is going to go here to this arm. They're going to be worried about this arm. What I'm going to do is use this position, because when I get up, watch this shoulder here. When I come up, see how that shoulder comes off the ground? Now we're going to turn. Watch what happens when his shoulder comes up off the ground, his head comes off the ground as well. That gives me my entrance point for the choke. So what I'm going to do, I'll be here, I'm going to get this hooked up, I'm going to drive in. As he's thinking about this, my other hand is just going to slip all the way through, deep. Not part way, it has to be deep. I should make sure that my bicep is nice and relaxed so that when I put it deep in there, it contours with the carotid artery, the side of his neck. So it contours. If it's tense, it's only going to go in so far. If it's relaxed, it contours, and then when I put the pressure, it's going to actually close up that carotid artery. So I'm going to come here. As that head comes in, that's my entrance of the arm. Notice where my right ribs are. I pin that so his head's looking up, and then I'm going to come back. I can either finish right here, or I can pass, put my head on the ground, and finish the choke there. That gives you a good idea of a nice setup. If you have the north-south choke and you have those details, but you're having trouble setting it up, especially with the MMA gloves on, it's a great way to get your partner's head or your opponent's head off the ground. So you can slide in that north-south choke and finish the fight.